Hello everyone. Welcome to another live. I'm here at the beach today. In this one we're going to be talking about 5 ways to make the narcissist never mess with you again. Because let's keep it real, you know, this is what they like to do. They see you. You're innocent, you're pure. Just mind your own business. Going about your day in your flow state. And they're always in predator mode. They're always scanning their environment. Not only for threats, because of course, you know, that's also a big part of it, is they're looking for a threat. Something that could challenge them or expose them. But also they're always looking for supply, sources of admiration. And they see it because, you know, you're pure. You're just focused on something. You're innocent. So they see it as though they can steal your attention and pull it into their orbits and have your world revolving around them. And yes, that is how they would really like it. And that's what it's designed to do. So yeah, they love to target us. They love to mess with us, fiddle around with us, just kind of screw us up, confuse us. They love to do that because they are already that way, observing you, wondering why your world is not revolving around them. Because of course, you know, they need that supply, they need the attention, validation, adoration, control, sense of superiority. They need that in order to survive emotionally. And so that's why they're always scanning the environment for threats and also for something that they can idealize, because yes, they do idealize us. The innocent, pure creatures that we are. The creatures, of course, in a pleasant way. We're not like insects, no, that's the narcissist. But yeah, they come around you, they mess with you, they fiddle around with you, they play with you. That's what they like to do. They like to play around with things. They like to screw it up, rearrange it, disorder it, because they are disordered themselves. So that's why they like to do it. And as you probably guessed by this point, is that I am all about protecting and preserving the mental states of innocent people. That is why I do this work. That is what I care about. And yeah, that's why I decided to create this video and to give you these 5 ways to stop the narcissist from messing with you ever again. Give this video a thumbs up. And now, let's get into it together. Number 1, set unbreakable boundaries. Now, of course, as we know, this is something that narcissists do not like. They do not like it when you set a boundary. They do not like it when you draw a line in the sand. No, they see your pure, innocent nature. They see what you have to offer. Attention, validation, admiration, a sense of control. Oh, they want that. They're very arrogant. They feel entitled to it. So why can't you direct that energy and attention over this way towards me? That's how they think. So of course, they're not going to like it when you set a boundary, because they see the opportunity, the opportunists. They see that there's an option there to have your energy, your attention, your world revolving around them now. And that is something that's very tempting, very enticing to them. It's something they cannot resist, because otherwise, without that, they feel empty. So when you set a boundary, of course, they're not going to like it. But this is something that you have to do. You need to have this awareness inside of you. You need to know what is okay and what is not okay for you. You need to define it for yourself, what it is that you want, what it is that you like, what it is that you don't want and what you don't like. Because otherwise they are going to do that for you, and you're going to end up feeling very confused, dissatisfied, disappointed, in an undesirable situation, somewhere that you do not want to be. And of course, you know, this is what happens to all of us because we let them define it for us. This is a big mistake that we make. We need to start defining it for ourselves. We need to define who we are. We need to define what we want and what we don't want. Never let them do that for you because they view you as an extension of them. So it's just whatever they want. Whatever's going to get them the attention, admiration, validation. Whatever's going to give them control, superiority. Because, you know, narcissists, they need that supply. So you need to make it clear what you will and will not tolerate. That needs to be number one, setting those boundaries. Because of course, with those boundaries there, it makes it more difficult for them to mess with you. Once you have this awareness of what it is that you actually want, because, you know, this is the sad part about it, right? Many of you at this point, you probably don't even know what it is that you do want. You have all of these ideas that they've implanted in your minds about who you're supposed to be, about what you're supposed to like. But if you really think about it, because it's very rare that you ever get a chance to even think for yourself, but if you actually think about it, the person who you are is very different to what they've made you believe. And the things that you like are very different to the things that they've implanted in your minds. Because this is it, you know, they need supply. They get supply from really just turning you into the opposite of who you are. Because that then gives them a sense of power. Because they cannot, they don't have any power to direct you in the way that you're trying to go. They can't do anything with that. They can only really have the power to take you in the opposite direction. That's where they get their control. So this is why they reverse everything and they really just turn you into something that you're not. And yeah, they just end up destroying you. Because that's something that they can control and create, is destruction. But not anything good, not anything real. Number two, starve them of attention. No reaction is the ultimate punishment. Because again, they need that supply. They need that attention, validation, admiration. They could get it somewhere else, but it's never going to feel as good as them getting it from you. This is why they targeted you. This is why they put in so much work into manipulating and controlling you. Because that reaction of yours, it is very important to them. It is something that sustains them. And it is something that they can't live without. I mean, just think about how many other potential sources of supply they might have. And even when they're with a new supply, they're still coming back to you. They're still flaunting it to you, trying to get your attention. Because your attention is worth more than all of the supplies put together. And why? It's because of your innocence, your purity, your authenticity, your real, genuine, sincere. So when you starve them of your reaction, yes, that is the ultimate punishment. That is something that will really threaten the illusion. And this is why after that, they then try to isolate you, and typically they bring in their flying monkeys. They need all of these people just to replace, what, one person, you. Just think about how crazy that is. Number 3, expose their tactics calmly. If there's one thing that narcissists do not like, it's your calm, your silence. They prefer noise, dysfunction, drama, chaos, because then they get more of your emotional investment. And that's all that they're ever trying to do in any scenario, any situation, is to get more of that emotional supply, that emotional investment. Doesn't matter what the situation is. Even when it appears as though they want nothing less than neglecting you, rejecting you, discarding you, comparing you to someone else. No, they still want more. It's just the other ways that we're trying to get it, it wasn't working anymore. They will always want more from you, never less. And you've only got to look back to see how much you've given already to prove that point. But yeah, when you expose their tactics calmly, your truth will dismantle their power. Because again, it's always the opposite with them. Their power comes from going backwards, from going down, from degenerating, from being fake. Your power is in your truth. And that opposes their falsehoods. So as long as you stand in your truth and you just expose it calmly, that will dismantle their power. Because everything they do, it's all about manipulation and control. It's always about getting you to shift your perspective. And you just got to stop and think, hold on. What is wrong with my current perspective? Why is this not of any advantage to you? That's what you really got to think about for a moment. And then, yes, you know, that does tell you everything that you need to know. Number 4, build an unshakable support system. Because here's the thing, right? Even though, yes, you may set unbreakable boundaries, even though you may starve them of attention, even though you may stand in your truth and expose their tactics calmly, you're just too irresistible. It's too tempting, it's too enticing. You are this light. And they just can't resist it. So they're still going to cross those boundaries. They're still going to try and get to you. But if you have an unbreakable support system, it makes it more difficult for them to do that. Because they're always trying to influence you, brainwash you, indoctrinate you with their delusional belief system, which really is all about themselves and how wonderful they are. And why you should just sacrifice it all, just give it all up to them. That's pretty much how they're always thinking in their minds, because they can't create anything for themselves. But if you have this unbreakable support system, it makes it more difficult for them to brainwash you. So now you're better able to protect yourself. And number 5, level up your life. Because of course, you know, being around a narcissist, the only way they got in, the only way they maintain control is because they brought you down. They brought you down. And all they will ever do is bring you down and keep you down, because that's the only way that they can gain access to you and control you. Because they can't meet you there. They can't ever be on your level. No, they need the supply from you. They have to deplete you of your confidence, of your empowerment. They have to take all of that away from you. Because otherwise they'll never be able to even gain access to you. So, yeah, if you've been with a narcissist, someone who's self-absorbed, lacking empathy, exploitative, yes, they brought you down. There's no way that you could ever be the same person that you were before you were around them. They would have had to have brought you down. They would have had to have affected your confidence, your sense of stability. They have to. So now you need to focus on leveling up your life, becoming better, brighter, happier, healthier, more successful. And yeah, nothing enrages them more than seeing you thrive without them. Because this is it, you know, despite what they may have told you, they hate your peace, they hate your happiness, they hate your light, your shine, they hate everything about you. And it's because it's yours, because you have it. They want it for themselves. They look at you and they want your smile, they want your light, they want your happiness. They want everything that you have. That's the whole point. That is their supply. And it's because they can't build or create anything for themselves. So it's all about taking that away from you. But also keep in mind, you know, many narcissists, they're not even conscious of this process. Many of them, they're not even self-aware. But this is the reality of it. It's like, yes, they do want to become you. As Professor Sam Vaknin has mentioned in his videos. And that's how, you know, they steal your energy away from you. They just take everything that you have and leave you with nothing. And then you're left hurt, in pain, struggling, healing. You're left wounded because things have been taken from you and made into a part of them. They fed off of you. And yeah, you know, they wanted to become you, and that's why when they see you level up your life, especially with this unbreakable support network, and they can't get through to you, they could just watch from the outside. Oh, it really irritates them because they really want to get at it. You know, they really want to have that influence and power over you. They really want to manipulate you, indoctrinate you, brainwash you, regain that control over you. And when they can't, oh, it really winds them up, drives them crazy. And they will know then not to mess with you again because you have shown strength. You have shown that, no, I'm not going to be controlled. You're not going to manipulate my perception. You're not going to dominate me anymore. That's what you have shown to them. And they do not like that because here's the thing about narcissists, you know, they're very rude, very arrogant. They don't value anything, and I mean anything. Nothing has any value unless they have control over it. That's how they see it. There's no balance. There's no share of power. There's nothing like that with them. It's either all or nothing. It's their way or the highway. They have to entirely dominate and control you, or they just can't be bothered with it. And here's the thing. In life, sometimes, that's just how it is. You know, if someone is an authority, if someone has special abilities, special skills, then yes, you know, you're gonna want to hand the reins over to them. Of course. But with the narcissist, they targeted you because you are better abled. You are more skilled than they are. And that's how by the end of it, they just drain you, deplete you, turn you into a shell of who you used to be. Because this is it. They want to dominate and control the situation when they're less than you. When you've actually done the work. And that's why they targeted you. So this is the problem with narcissists. And you know, it's not all about if someone is dominated, if someone is powerful, that doesn't always mean that it's a bad thing. It's just for them, it's a bad thing. And you should never let a narcissist dominate you. Someone who is self-absorbed, someone who doesn't listen, someone who doesn't learn anything. That's the worst thing that you can do. It's a recipe for disaster. It doesn't matter who it is. Whenever you give the power over to someone and all they have is lies and future faking, all they have is manipulation, deception, illusions, tricks, you're really hanging yourself. That's all that you do it. I mean, there's no way that anything could get better in that situation. It's impossible. Because all they have is smoke and mirrors. All they have is illusions. So, and we all end up in that condition. Happens to all of us. We all end up just entranced, believing that this person actually has power when they don't demonstrate anything. And really it's just this grandiose delusion. It's all about how wonderful, how perfect, how special they are. But they never actually do anything. They never actually get you there. This is the problem. We fall for someone's potential of what they could be. And really a lot of this, it's all just fantasy. There's no actually real power there. So this is the problem about it, is that we dream, we fantasize. They idealize us and they get us to idealize them. There's never any positive result to it because it's not even real. And this is how we just end up being messed with instead, because that's all they can do. But yeah, I do hope that, this has awakened some of you. Reveal the truth about it to you. Because this is really what it's designed to do, they give you an illusion, a fantasy, and that's always bad as well, sometimes, such as, video games, movies, even vacations, it's all just a fantasy, and we pay for that because we're aware of it, we know what we're signing up for. It's an escape. That's fine. It's just with the narcissist, they don't tell you that. You don't know what you get into. You don't realize that it's just a fantasy, and they really take a lot more than what it's worth, than what you're getting back. So this is the problem with it. And like I've said in past videos, yeah, you can dream, you can fantasize. Just keep all of that away from them. Keep that to yourself or share it with someone else. Just not with the narcissist. But yeah, as you can see, just here at the beach today. I traveled to this Shargo Island, and I've just been working now, editing my next video. Hopefully I will get it up tonight, share it with you. But yeah, I'm not sure where I'll be after this. I may do some more exploring on this island, or I may fly out, go somewhere else. But speaking of dreams and fantasies, I do have my own personal dream. I'd love to visit Africa. Just something about it. Looks like a really beautiful place. Really beautiful women there as well. And I've been thinking about it for a while. I've been exploring Asia now for the last 5 years, pretty much every day. And I never really got what I wanted out of it. I'm not really interested in the women here. And I know I've been saying that for a while. I mean, I mentioned that in my live videos in Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, but I never actually did anything about it. And, thinking that, there's this huge world out there, and, beautiful caramel-skinned African women with like long curly black hair. Just thinking that is out there somewhere. So much to explore, and I'm just here. I do feel like I'm missing out on something. And I'm getting older every day, I'm 36 now. Gotta make the most of it while I can. So yeah, I do have a dream there. And of course, if that dream does come true, I will be sharing it with you. I can't even imagine what it would be like. Being in the jungles of Africa, at the beaches. It's something to dream about. I mean, who knows? I don't know what it would be like. I'd like to meet like the local women. How would they respond to a British man? To a British YouTuber who talks about narcissists. I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you. I am interested in just exploring new cultures and different kinds of people. And of course, I do know that many of my viewers are African people. In the US, especially, being most of my audience, and also in actual African countries. And of course, I did interviews as well with African Americans and collaborated on some music projects. But yeah, things to dream about, things to look forward to. And that's what I want for you as well. I want you to have something bigger outside of the narcissist, something, because, this has really just affected you. It's really brought you down. It's made you feel hopeless, helpless, powerless. That's not how you should feel. That's not how I want any of you to feel. So believe in something greater. But of course, never something that's just going to come in and save you. Something that you can work on yourself. That's what it should always be about, becoming better versions of ourselves. You just need to find someone, something who can meet you there. Outside of the narcissist, That's the thing as well. Never let it be something that's tied to them. Where it's like, you treated me this way, but now I've got this. It needs to be something outside of them. Never something where it's like, it's a competition or it's out of jealousy. That's what they do, and that's why they never move on. For you, it needs to be something independent. It needs to be about you, not about them. That's how it should go. Because that's just it, you spend enough time focusing on the narcissist, now you need to focus on you. Now that's not that you can't continue educating yourself on this information, no. Of course you can continue doing that, but also Have something outside of them. Have a dream. Have a fantasy. It will fuel you. It will be really good for you. And take the steps over a long period of time to get yourself there. But also, you know, throughout, make sure that you do have boundaries, a good support network. You're not sharing it with the narcissist, because that's the big problem. Never share your dreams, your fantasies, your goals with someone who is self-absorbed. Someone who's all about themselves. So, something to take note of. But yeah, it is really beautiful here. With the sun going down. This beach. Clear water. The mangroves. It is a nice view. It's a nice view, and even the food is pretty good here too. So, you know, I am enjoying some things, but I am looking forward to the future as well. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you all for joining me here at the beach today. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, let me know what you're dreaming about for the future. Let's share it together, and let's see what can we do to move forward together. How will we better ourselves? Subscribe if you're new. Hit the notification bell so that you will be notified when I go live again. And for more deeper truths, or to book a one-on-one, go to my website. It is narcsurvivor.co.uk. If you'd like to support my work, you can donate. Go to paypal.me/narcsurvivor. And also, it's Narc Survivor Coaching on TikTok and Instagram. And the new Facebook group, it's called Narc Survivor. Lots of resources on many different platforms for you. But yeah, anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate your support, and I will speak to you in another live very soon.